Um, Several years ago, before I became an English teacher, I worked for Niagara County as a summer youth counselor. And there were a group of high school students that I was in charge of, and they each had part-time jobs for the summer, and I had to go from location to location, to check up on them. And one of the places that I had to go to was the Community Missions in Niagara Falls, and it is a temporary home or temporary shelter for homeless people. And I got to talk to some of them, and I talked to the people who ran the shelter, and I realized that they could use more help. Once I became a teacher, I started to think about ways that I could potentially help out others, and maybe I could offer some type of incentive to students to help others. One year, my very first year teaching here, there was a food drive that for the entire school, and students were asked to bring food into their homerooms, and I was there on the day that the loaves and fishes came to pick up the food, and there were only about 6 or 7 items. And I thought that number one, we could do a lot better, and I decided that offering an incentive was the way to go. So I started doing the food drive here, and making it an assignment. If students were to bring in more items than required, I'd count it as extra credit. It was a way to help out the students, help students to help themselves, but also to bring people together to help out others in the community. Now, I had mentioned the community missions in Niagara Falls, and something that I started several years ago. On Thanksgiving morning, I would bring several turkeys and a bunch of food over there to help out the people who would benefit from their service. And this tradition has grown to the point where now I bring my nieces and nephews, and I think all of us would like to have a little bit more in life, but there are always people out there who have it worse, and I may not be able to do a lot myself, and other students and other people may not be able to do a lot by themselves, but if we band together, I think that we can make a difference and help people out. And from some of the feedback I've received from the Salvation Army in this city, I know that we are helping out. And the last several years, I've been able to fill up entire truckloads of food with the food that I try to bring in a couple cases of food myself. The majority of the food comes from my students, and so I have to make sure I acknowledge all of their efforts, because what I do, I'm just a facilitator, whereas it's the students that are the ones who are making the difference.